Young David was a disgusting teenager. He would sit in his bed all day and masturbate 5, 6, 7 times a day. He would actively spend less time with his family to indulge in some of the most degenerate porn. I'm talking about the kind of porn that you need direct links to go to. It would constantly be in his mind at all hours of the day, even though his hands were still pruny, like when you've been in the shower for too long. He continued to fap. Now, I apologize if that got a little too graphic for some of you, but I really want to hit home with those of you who are consumed by this addiction and have lost hope. If you're watching this, there's a good chance that you're struggling with what I've just described. Maybe not quite as extreme, but you feel like it's impeding other areas of your life. Now, I'll be teaching you everything I've come to learn over my course of fighting this addiction and what I finally did to curb the habit for good. I know it'll be difficult for some of you to sit through this video, so I'll try to keep it as short as possible. I'll leave timestamps in the description, but if you really want to fix this area of your life and break the chains that have been shackling you for so long, it's highly recommended that you watch the video fully through to the end. Now, with that said, get off to where you're alone, where you're by yourself. Get rid of distractions. Turn off your phone, silence your notifications, because you will need your full focus to take what I am saying into full consideration. I want to be clear here. I'm not your parent or some medical professional. I am another guy who, exactly like you, has gone through the same issues and heard the same watered-down advice given over 1,000 times to try to help us. I'm not saying these people are bad for giving that advice, but I'm saying it's not practical and it's not working for a lot of us. Now, all that being said, these are the things that help me curb masturbation. Step 1. Understand why you're doing it. Now, before you click off, this is pretty common advice, but I've also found it to be very critical to the process. Now, if you know why you're doing it, it can make identifying your triggers and situations that bring the urge a lot easier, and it'll better prepare you for avoiding them in the first place. Masturbation is usually used as a coping mechanism to deal with negative emotions like stress and anxiety. So take out a piece of paper, and I'm watching you. You better do this, bro. Take out a piece of paper right now and just make a little list of things that stress you out. It might feel uncomfortable or even stupid, but I can promise you that this little bit of introspection, it'll help put an end to your masturbation addiction. Just this little bit of introspection. So I'll put an example PDF of what this could look like, what this looked like for me, in the description, and you can check that out. Or I might try to put it on screen in a little bit. Number 2, don't cut out masturbation. Don't cold quit masturbation. When I first started this, to see that this whole masturbation thing was an issue, I began consuming a lot of nofap content. And you may have heard of it. This was back in the early days of it. But for those that haven't heard of nofap, it's basically a community where, men's goal is to completely cut out masturbation. They usually count their daily streaks, like how long it's been since the last time they've done it. But the issue that I've found with keeping a streak is that it only brings your mind back to the subject because you're neurotically counting the days that go by, right? And you're more likely to run into one of your triggers when you're in that kind of mindset. Now, to help you understand number 2, there's been a proven concept in psychology that states in simple terms, if you focus on taking something away, you'll only want it more. Maybe you've heard of it, but it's kind of like being a rebellious teenager. When your parents tell you to do or not to do something, you just want to do it more, right? So the same thing applies to fapping and porn. The more you tell yourself not to do it, the more your mind's put onto the subject, and you become 10 times more likely to relapse. Right, so there are many reasons why this happens, but I won't get into all that. what should you focus on instead? Well, focus on adding good things to your day. The goal here isn't simply to cut out masturbation for the hell of it. You're here because it's negatively impacting your life, right? In some way, which means that it's not an all or nothing solution. The results you see will be linear, right? And which basically, if you don't know what that means, you will gradually see more benefits. It's not like all or like nothing or all, right? So here's when you're trying to quit NoFap. Here's on like day 300, and you see all the results. That's not how it works. You get results as you go. Now, you may see more results as you get further and further down, which you will, but you will see exponential results even in just the first 2 weeks, right? So keep that in mind. Now, what are the good things to add to your day, right? Anything that will keep you away from your triggers. If you don't know what these are, that's okay, because we'll be going over that in the next point. But essentially, you want to keep your mind as far away as possible by filling your day with other activities, right? These activities could be walking, hiking, running, swimming, reading, journaling, and maybe you don't get the same kind of enjoyment out of those activities, right? Maybe you're quite new to self-improvement, and that's okay. The other activities you could go for are things like, a drive. You could go hang out with friends, go to bowling, go see a movie, laser tag, anything that gets you out of your normal environment, right? Or in the environment that you typically indulge in those activities, like porn and masturbation. Right? Now, if you're hesitant to invite people out because you don't feel like they want to spend time with you, it's important to realize the irrational thinking that you're having here. It's very common to believe, and I understand where you're coming from because I also used to have the same issue, right? But they also likely hold the same belief that people don't want to spend time with them. So imagine how much of a hero, think of it this way. It's a mindset change, and it'll be uncomfortable at first. But think of it this way. Imagine how much of a hero you would look like to being the guy that invites people out rather than just waiting to be invited and continuing to be disappointed when it doesn't happen. Right? So it will seem very uncomfortable, like I said, at first. But I promise you it'll pay off. You probably have that one friend in mind right now. Actually, message him, invite him out somewhere right now. Pause the video and go invite him out anywhere. It doesn't matter where, insert the rock. It doesn't matter, right? It could be the store. You go to Walmart and just walk around, smell the candles or something. You could be just chilling at your house. You could, go in the car, go for a drive, go to the lake, use your surroundings, go to a mountain. If they decline, it's okay. It gives you an amazing opportunity to go practice. Go away by yourself and make a good time of it. This goes into another concept that I could get into about becoming comfortable with yourself and, how to reduce social anxiety and become more social and make friends. And maybe I'll release a video on that much later. But right now, I'm just going to leave it at that. Likely some of you, the thought also came to mind that I'm no fun, right? Well, let me give you an extra tip. So this will be like a bonus tip for this video. The secret to being, the life of the party is to have, just very simply, the skill of self-amusement. Now, here is a lot I can go into. But you really need to understand is that to become funny, it's very simple. First, you need to make yourself laugh, right? Others will appreciate that energy and enjoy being around you more than if you were just stone cold. By making yourself laugh, you're, at least contributing to the positive energy of the conversation. rather than just showing up and leeching off of everyone else's energy, expecting to be given a good time. Now, I know this has been a long video, and I'm proud of you for staying this long. It means that you're likely really tired of living this way, and you're ready for a change. It is really uncomfortable having to sit and watch long videos nowadays, but you're sacrificing your comfort in order to make a better future. This is called delayed gratification. Some argue that it's the most important skill to learn and develop, right? And you've just shown yourself that you possess it. Congratulations. Like, genuinely, congratulations. I can't even speak. I'm so proud of you. This is a big first step in the right direction. The final bit of knowledge that I want to share with you is number 3. Find and avoid your triggers. So I mentioned these triggers in number 2, but what are they? Triggers are essentially stimulants that evoke the urge in you to do something else. You know, for me, personally, what this would look like is when I would eat fast food, like Little Caesars or, you know, some kind of pizza or something. That would, like, lead to me, you know, fapping. Another example is I would sit on, because, you know, I would eat the fast food, I would feel sad for myself. It would create, you know, some kind of, you know, stress or anxiety in my mind, and I would start trying to feel better from that. So I would start fapping, right? Another way that whole nervous system route works is my mind, or it created like mucus, right? And I can't even lie, I was a disgusting person. I didn't use lotion, so, you know, spit all the way. And if it's going to create, I shouldn't have to explain this, but you get the idea. Another example would be like sitting on your bed, getting on your phone. You know, that would instantly lead to, you know, porn and fapping. So my tip for you is to simply become aware of what your triggers are. At least by being able to identify them, you can make a subtle effort to avoid them. You know, maybe it's an app on your phone, or maybe it's a certain profile on your social media. Maybe it's certain food or drink that you usually get, or even a certain room or chair in your house, right? We can create associations with pretty much any habit. So it's important to identify what in your environment is triggering this response for you and learn other ways to navigate around it. Those are the 3 essential tips and main things that helped me quit masturbation for good. Take what I said here to heart, and you'll find exponential results on the effort you invest. If you're looking for more in-depth content than what I've posted here on YouTube, you can visit my site at www.rootsadv, that's ROOTSADV.com, or I'll leave my email in the descriptions for you to contact me. There I can go into full detail about how you can improve all different aspects of your life in as much detail as possible. I'm actually working on an exciting new project for you guys that should be released in a couple of months. If you want to sign up and be notified of its updates, you can send an email to the address in the description below, or leave your email on my site. I don't do like a newsletter or anything like that like spams you every week, or, you know, maybe every 2 weeks I'll send out something that, you know, I think will genuinely benefit you. If you want to be notified of its updates or uploads, send an email to the address in the description, and I'll add you to the waitlist for beta access. With that being said, you can check out some of my other videos. They're linked in the description, and stay on task.